Welcome to the Ohio High School Film Room presented by Prep Hoops Ohio. I'm Michael Roth, and I'm with Patrick Ivory of Northmont High School. Patrick, welcome to the film room.
Thank you. I'm great to be here. Shit.
Yeah, last season, your team really struggled. You went 1-22. You scored 14 points a game on only 40% shooting. But this year, you've been a completely different team, and you've taken a big step improvement as an individual player. You're scoring 17 and a half points per game, shooting over 50% from the field, and your team, most importantly, is 3 wins, 2 losses. One of your losses was only by 2 points. What's been the biggest difference for your team this season? Already 3 wins compared to 1 last year.
I would say everybody's, locked in. We all have the same goal, go out and compete and win games because we want to go out with a chip on our shoulder. It's really embarrassing and it hurts thinking about, going 1-22. So we feel like we had to change some things, leadership wise, we got to be more seniors, especially got to be more leaders. I've tried to be a big part in that role of being a leader, and individually I've worked on, defense. I feel like defense is a big part of our wins, and we're just really locked in to go out and compete with anybody.
One of the things I want to see from a scholarship level kid is getting easy buckets. And I feel like in the 3 games that I watched of you, you did a really good job of getting easy buckets. What are some keys for you this season of whether that's leaking out on the fast break, just doing simple sweep and go moves to the hoop to try and get easy points, because those are points that are just going to be repeatable over and over again?
I feel like getting out in transition, like easy transition buckets are a big key to where you don't have to run, sets as much to where the defense can, clue on to that. And for me, I really think my game is top notch when I get out in transition and I'm moving fast paced. And I think that's where my game exceeds at. And, just for me, if it's not me going out in transition, I can get a rebound, push the ball. I just really like getting out in transition. I think that's a big key for me in scoring.
Patrick, it seems like your bread and butter on offense is driving to the basket, getting to the rim. On a couple of these first clips, you do a nice job of drawing contact, getting to the free throw line. What are some keys for you when you're driving to the bucket, whether you're looking to score or dish to a teammate?
Uh, I try to be aggressive at all times, because if you're aggressive, you're most likely going to get that call. I mean, if you're being aggressive, period, it might be sometimes where the defense takes a charge. You just got to live with it. So I feel like when I'm driving to the basket, I always have to be aggressive, whether that's driving, shooting the mid range, driving, drawing a foul, or driving and kicking to my teammates and trusting them to make that shot. So I think aggressiveness is a big key in what I do when I drive to the basket.
Yeah, and you had kind of a variety of 1 and 2 footed finishes. Is there any sort of move around the basket that you're most comfortable with, whether it's a 1 or 2 footed finish? Because it seems like there were times where you scored on 1 foot finishes and times you missed on 1 foot finishes, and also the same way for 2 footed finishes.
I think it's about me, trying to absorb contact. That's one thing I've been trying to work on over the summer is 1 foot finishes, 2 foot finishes. It's all about absorbing contact. And sometimes, I feel like it's a struggle for me. So I feel like I need to keep working on that.
Patrick, you are averaging under 2 turnovers a game, but these do happen sometimes. It seems like here you get into the most trouble when you stop yourself or you seem predetermined that you're going to pass the ball. Is that what you kind of gather watching over these clips?
Yeah. When I drive and, the defense stops me or if it's help, I sometimes, am too late with the pass. And, I try to tell my teammates, try to get themselves open or cut if anything possible. So I put a lot of blame on myself when turning the ball over because, I shouldn't be turning the ball over at all. That's the big keys in possession. So that's about it.
Yeah, and something I noticed just watching these clips, it seems like when you turn the ball over, you almost second guessed yourself, or you tried like planning the pass that one time on the fast break instead of just letting the game kind of naturally come to you. So I think that would be one thing for you. Like when you notice you make turnovers, it's when like kind of you're thinking too much instead of just naturally playing the game. And that's where you have the most success, just free flowing in transition and attacking the basket aggressively instead of kind of half indecisive.
Yep.
When you're driving to the basket, one shot that you seem to go to over and over again is the floater. You have very mixed success with this shot. This is a very difficult shot. Rewatching these clips, what do you think are the biggest takeaways from how often you shoot the floater? Because you do make them sometimes, but like I said, it's a tough shot, and you do have your fair share of misses in here too.
Yeah. Sometimes I hate it a lot because it's pretty much a 50-50 chance. And then the bad part about it is like when I watch my clips, when the defender's pretty glued to me, and I still try to shoot a floater, it pretty much leans towards me missing it and having to fight for a rebound. So I feel like I have more success with it when I have room and the defenders behind me or sagging down a little bit. So I feel like I have more success when I have space to create with.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing for me. When you're able to actually get lift and you're not kind of defended and prevented from getting a natural motion on your shot, you had a lot of success. But there were a couple times in here later in these clips where it seemed like you were going up in traffic and shooting the floater was a bailout shot where it probably would have been better if you just kicked it out and just lived to see another possession. So that was one thing that I noticed about it. When you do have space to actually jump, you do show nice touch on the floaters. But when your liftoff area is kind of crowded, it was a lower percentage shot. Through 5 games this year, you're 3 for 10 on 3 pointers. Here are some spot up looks. It seems like for me, the biggest thing for you is getting consistent balance on your jump shots, because when you seemed like your feet were pointed towards the basket and you got decent lift off the ground, shots went in at a decent percentage. But when you were a little off balance or didn't jump super high as you normally do, it was a lower percentage shot. Is your jumper something that you worked on in the off season because you are shooting it more often than you did during your junior season?
Uh, yeah, I've worked with my trainer, Miles. We worked on my form really and trying to get my shot off quicker. That's one thing I want to work on is my footwork and getting my shot off quicker. Because once I get to a higher level, it's not going to be that easy, get shots off like that. So that's one thing I've tried to work on is getting my shot off faster and working on my 3 pointer. Because mid range wise, I feel like I'm good. I'm successful at it. I still work on it here to this day, but my three ball, I feel like I need to work on it and get more lift off the ground and have good footwork for that.
Yeah, I like you being self aware about how long it takes for you to shoot it. Because at this stage, you're somebody that if I was scheming against you, I would say, we don't want to leave him open because he'll make us pay if we leave him open. But if you do stay close to you, get a hand up, he's probably not going to shoot it just because of how long your shot takes. So, yeah, I think making those improvements, and you're already working on that from the sound of things, is going to make you a more deadly offensive player from the outside. So that's really important. On these two clips here, neither one of them look pretty natural, in my opinion. What are some things that you take away from just these two clips and watching them over?
Uh, I feel like I kind of forced my shot a little bit. I, me having a successful mid range, I feel like sometimes shooting off balance is not isn't good for me, but I'm comfortable with it. Like I try to work on those things. So just for me, I feel like I've tried rushing it sometimes or forcing it. So I feel like that was a big key in my misses.
You've been talking about your mid-range jumper, and here in these clips, your mid-range jumper, like you said, it looks really natural. You're getting defenders off balance. You're making a lot of these shots. So just how much time is spent in the gym working on these shots? Because it seems like you were very comfortable taking and making them.
I would say every day. I feel like a one dribble pull up is a perfect thing for you at the collegiate level. I watch a lot of film, like on me doing it a lot. I watch a lot of college basketball. The three ball works, but getting people in the air is a good thing, and getting a more efficient shot, I feel like in the mid range area is a good thing for you. So I pretty much spend my time working on my mid range every day just to get better, using shot fakes, one dribble pull up, anything.
Yeah, I like how you mentioned that because we got a couple clips here where you use your shot fake, get a defender in the air, one dribble, pull up jumper. It's good. That's something that's going to translate to the college level. As a passer and distributor for others, it seems like you have the most success in the open court, fast break, in transition. You know that you can score on the fast break, and the defense knows that. So, how much do you factor in getting your teammates involved, because the defense is probably more worried about you than they are one of your teammates on the fast break?
I think it's a huge key for me to, get my teammates involved early on in the game too. So when I get on in transition, the way our team is, being an athletic type of team, I feel like I'm comfortable with guys running with me, and it's easy to get that one pass, and you can get it right back anytime. So I think it's a big factor for them, hit their shots and me making the right pass. Because sometimes I would like to say I watched a lot of film from last year to this year, and I feel like I've improved on passing, but it's still sometimes where I'm a second late and the defense is already recovered. So I feel like I've improved a little bit, but it's still stuff I need to work on.
With a team that likes to play in transition, get up and down, defense and getting steals and blocks is a great opportunity for you to start that transition. How much pride do you take defensively in creating steals, blocks, turnovers, and getting out in transition, because that leads to easy scoring opportunities?
I take a lot of pride this year. That's one thing, I really wanted to work on in the summer because last year I would for 100% say I was a lazy defender. It would be times where I just, tried to leak out and never go rebound the ball or something. But when I play defense this year, I kind of lean on, always being on help side, always keeping your head on the swivel and keeping your men in front of you because your teammate's going to have your back either way. And, keeping your men in front of you is the best thing you can do. So I feel like for myself, I like to guard the other team's best player. It's a challenge for me, but it also helps me, learn that player's, technique and how they play. And it's a challenge for me. So I really like playing defense this year. I'm having fun doing it and, getting two steals a game or something.
Yeah, and you mentioned you thought you were a lazy defender as a junior. Well, the numbers bear that out. During your junior year, you averaged less than one steal and block combined, and this year you're at over two steals and block combined per game. So you over doubled your defensive impact plays that you made during your senior year, and that's something that you just need to continue to do and build off of, because it seems like the ability was always there, and now you're really starting to do that. So that's very important. Here are a couple on-ball defensive plays where it seems like you close out really hard on a shooter. You do force a mid-range jumper, which isn't the highest percentage shot in high school basketball. But what do you take away from these plays where you're closing out and getting beat by a less athletic kid?
I think I need to work on closing out under control more, chopping my feet a lot more. I still try to close out and run them off the line at least, but the bad part about it is they're still getting a shot off, and I just need to work on my recovery and footwork and, you know, making them drive and kick or, force a turnover, something.
Patrick, it seems like when you really put your mind to defending on ball, you can give ball handlers a lot of trouble. We see here they're either forced into bad shots, they turn the ball over with the pass, or you strip the basketball from them. Is that something that you think from your junior to your senior year you've taken a big leap in?
Yeah, Full court wise, I try to turn my man, make him tired, make him work. I feel like I've worked on, sprinting wise. I can sprint ahead of the ball, stop the ball still. I'm not scared of getting beat, and I'm not scared of, getting crossed or something happens. So I really take a lot of pride in my full court defense. And then half court wise, like I said, keeping the man in front of you, that's a good thing. You can make them force a turnover and, shoot a bad shot or something. And either help side, I try to read help side and see what the offensive player is going to do. Because if he drives, I'm going to be right there and try to, go for a steal or take a charge, something like that.
Yeah, so that will wrap it up for this episode of the Ohio High School Film Room. Patrick, are there any individual or team goals that you have that you want to achieve during your senior season?
Um, you know, I want to at least try to make a run in the playoffs. That's always something I've dreamed about, playing at UD or something. So that's one thing for me, and hopefully I can finish out with a good record and have a great senior season.